Hello and welcome back to the EDC Squirrel. Got an interesting one for you today, and this is from Ketuo, my very first knife from Ketuo, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Ketuo. And as you can see there, www.ketuousa.com. This is the Mini Griffin, and not just any Mini Griffin. First of all, when we open the box, what we have here is we have a little descriptor card. Excuse me. We have a little description card. And as you can see here, this one was designed by David Jin. It has an M390 blade. Its blade finish is a TIC coating. Not a coating I'm too familiar with, I don't believe. It sounds familiar, but I can't think of seeing that ever on another knife. I might have had it on a firearm, but I'm not quite sure. The handle is a 6AL-4V DLC, so DLC coated handle with a carbon fiber inlay. Blade length on this is 2.91 inches with a handle length of 4.05 inches and a DLC pocket clip as well. We have ceramic ball bearings. It is a button lock, and the weight of this one is 3.45 ounces. So that's on the card there. Now we also get a microfiber cleaning cloth. We have a Ketuo sticker that is actually quite well protected. Then we have the knife itself. Now, the reason why this particular Mini Griffin is unique is because this is a collaboration between Ketuo and Blade City, which is a retailer. They have their own website, but I got familiarized with Blade City through Whatnot and their auctions, and I actually purchased this on one of their shows on Whatnot. It is a collaboration between the two, and it is a limited colorway, of which only 50 were available. So I've got one of 50 for this colorway. They do have other colorways available, ranging from like a purple carbon fiber with DLC coated blades and a blue titanium with carbon fiber and various others. If you go to the Ketuo website, I do believe the blades on the other ones are also either TIC coated or DLC coated, depending on which colorway you go with. I don't have all the details with me on that, but if you were to look on your website, you can get much more specific information on the different colorways and what they're coated with. But this one, like I said before, is a limited edition, one of 50 from Blade City, and it comes with that golden TIC coating. Now, the TIC coating, from what I understand, is even harder than DLC, but I'm also told that it is also thinner than DLC. So I don't know how that holds up in regards to durability and scratching. Looks like we got a little bit of oil on there. Let's wipe that off real quick. Now, they did state it is a button lock. You have 4 methods really of deployment. You have a thumb hole, which is really easy to reverse flick. You have a front flipper, also very easy to utilize, a rear flipper, and the button lock itself. Now, if we look at it while it's closed, we can see that it's nicely centered in that well. And we do have a pocket clip that is reversible and inset. You got a little plate there that fills in the inset. It's not necessarily deep carry. It's more like a kind of a thicker pen clip style pocket clip. But it is reversible, so that's really nice. And we do have somewhat of a backliner here. It's kind of like partially open, as you can see through most of it. And that takes up about 2/3 of the back there. And you do also have a very generous lanyard hole. Now, the blade movement on this, super quick, super fast, and super smooth. Very easy to utilize any of those or any of these options when it comes to deploying the blade, either reverse flicking using your thumb, either of the flipper tabs, and the button itself is very easy to use. The movement on this is super slick and super smooth. Like no grinding whatsoever, no rough feeling at all or anything like that. And I barely hear it like a whisper, and that really solid lockup. Now, speaking of lockup, once it's open, very solid lock, like I said before. No movement on the blade, either up or down, or left or right. And then one thing you'll notice about the button lock, it's not a plunger lock like a lot of button locks are. This one is like a top liner lock or compression lock, where if you look and see inside the well, you can see the liner right there. And if you depress the button, that liner moves out of the way, allowing you to then close the blade. Now, one interesting thing that I noticed is that that button protrudes quite a bit once the blade is open. But I've tried this in various grips. Now you can see here you got a very sizable finger cutout on the scale, and you have a bit of a choil here allowing you to choke up on that blade for really precise control of the knife. But as I was going from grip to grip, even a gorilla grip on this handle, my fingers don't really get close to that button. So I don't really see, like, I was worried at first with how far that button pops out. But as I was going from grip to grip, I don't really notice any of my fingers really getting close to even touching that button really, much less depressing it and inadvertently closing it. So while it was a worry when I first saw it, the more I went around and held it in different grips, the more confident I felt that it wasn't going to be an issue whatsoever. And you do have some generous jimping here on the back, as well as a little dip. It's almost like a harpoon style blade. In fact, I probably would call it a harpoon style blade. And the finger choil is a little different. It's kind of squared off, so it's not like your usual rounded off finger choil, but I am still able to get one of my fingers in there, again, for really precise control over that blade. Otherwise, very comfortable handle, nicely rounded edges, so none of them feel sharp. Relatively neutral style handle, allowing me to hold it in different ways, even reverse. And I don't really feel, now my hand's not the biggest, but I don't even really feel like I'm going to be hitting that button by accident, regardless of the grip that I hold it in. Like I said, really comfortable and ergonomic handle on this with that slight curve and a little bit. It's not so much a swell, but the way it curves this way towards the fingers, it just makes it really comfortable to hold. And I do love the feel of that action. Real smooth. And because the button does protrude quite a bit, it's very easy to open and close. And one thing you'll notice is even if I were to press the button just a little bit, you actually have to press it down a considerable distance before it allows the blade to move. So even if you were to press down a little bit, it's not going to allow that blade to move until that button's almost all the way down. And very beautiful DLC coating on the scales, the clip, the carbon fiber insert just accents everything. I like the matching hardware. Looks really good on this one. Interesting keying on the hardware. So as far as adjustments are concerned, I'm not exactly sure how that will be done, because I noticed the keying, well, flathead can work there, but the keying on this side, very interesting, as well as this one here compared to just using like say T8s or whatever. So I thought that was quite interesting. Now on the blade itself, we do have what looks to be a logo etched on one side, and on the other side we have, I can't really make that out in the light. Let's see if we can focus. There we go. Griffin on the other side. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this before. It was M390 steel, really great steel. And speaking of steel, let's see how well they did the finishing on that edge. Okay, hit the char on that one, but otherwise really smooth and really quiet. All along that edge from the choil to the tip, they did an excellent finishing job on this edge. I was just doing another video on the corvids from Concept, and I was really impressed with how sharp those were out of the box. And this is right up there. The three sharpest I think I felt so far, having been, like, oddly enough, SRMs do an amazing almost mirror polish to their edges. And the Concept corvids, for being a giant cleaver blade, were exceptionally sharp. And this is right up there with them. So very nice factory edge on this. Super sharp out of the box. That's pretty impressive and a little scary there. Okay. So really great finishing job on that edge. Now, having cut through the magazine paper, it's not very like aggressive or gritty or anything like that, not like cardboard. There, I did see some smudges on the blade, but obviously that wiped up really easily. Again, I've looked into the TIC coating, and from what I understand, it's a titanium carbide coating, and a lot of times they're used for precision bearing applications. But it's supposed to be a really dense coating, and from what I understand, even harder than DLC coating, but at the same time being thinner. So again, I'm not sure how that would hold up through day-to-day use. I know DLC coatings can be pretty darn amazing. I haven't seen much in the way of TIC coatings used on blades, so I'm actually quite curious to hear more about that, to read more up on that, and see how well they perform in real world situations. Needless to say, though, it does make for a very beautiful looking coating on this one. I think one of the other things with TIC is they're able to do the coating in different colors compared to DLC, which tends to stay either black or gray. So I like how they were able to do a nice gold coating on this one. And it looks very, very striking. Now, looking on Ketuo's website, again, I got mine through BladeCity.com. And these Ketuo minis, depending on the colorway that you're looking at and the type of coating that you're going to end up on the blade, the prices are going to range anywhere from 195 to, I've seen 215. And I believe at the time that these were on sale with Blade City, they were running at 219. So just making them a little bit more expensive than the higher end Mini Griffin. Unfortunately, from what I've heard, they are completely sold out. It does still say coming soon, so maybe they didn't sell all 50 out yet. It's still a possibility. They may have some more. It does state on their website that it is limited to 50. So if they do have any more, I can't imagine they're going to have much more left. So if you're looking for this specific colorway, I would highly suggest checking out blade-city.com and clicking the notify me when available button, which they have on their website, or asking around in their whatnot auctions to see if they have in fact sold all 50 or if they're getting any more available. But the other colorways, from the looks of it, still available, with a few exceptions being sold out. So if you're looking to get one of these, I would definitely jump on them as soon as you get the chance. So let me know what you guys think of the Ketuo Mini Griffin. Again, this is my first knife from Ketuo, and I have to say I am very impressed with how well and how smooth the action is on this, and how good the blade finishing right out of the box was. I love the design. I think it's very unique looking, and it's unique looking without being uncomfortable or not sacrificing ergonomics. I've seen some really cool and interesting knife designs. However, they tend to sacrifice on those other designs that I've seen. They've sacrificed a lot of ergonomics, a lot of comfort, or in severe cases, even really usability for the sake of just having a cool looking knife. In this case, I've got a really cool looking knife that is still very ergonomic, very usable, super fidgety with all the ways you can deploy it. And no sacrifices really seem to have been made in regard to this one. Still looks super cool and still very usable, very ergonomic. And I am extremely happy with this first offering that I've got from Ketuo, and I'm really eager to check out more of what they have on their website. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you have a Ketuo? Do you have this one, or do you have another Ketuo knife maybe I should take a look at next? Let me know in the comments, and thank you so much for all your support. If you liked what you saw, please drop a like down below. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and that way you'll be notified the next time I drop a new video on the channel. But thank you again so much. I hope you enjoyed watching, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.